Canto 18. The circles here are called a bulge, of iron-colored stone as is the cliff enclosing them. Bang in the center gapes a deeper pit. The ledge around is split into 10 round ravines with dikes between them, like 10 successive moats around a fort. Just as such forts have bridges to their gates, so from the base of the enclosing cliff, arched bridges span ravines from dike to dike, towards the pit of which I won't speak yet. But each ravine and dike and bridge slopes down quite gradually lowering to it. We stood upon the outer dike, when dropped from Gerion's back. My poet led me left, so on our right I saw new sufferers and torturers, because within that moat 2 naked streams of sinners trudged around, nearest towards us, others turned away. Horned demons with great whips were lashing them. Oh, how they raised their heels at every stroke! None waited for a second or a third. Then, suddenly, I saw someone I knew. When my guide granted me leave to speak, the ghost tried hard to hide its face, until I cried out, "Vendicho caccianamico! Why do you stare so hard upon the ground? What got you in this mess?" He sighed and said, "I don't like answering, but still, your speech recalls old times, and so I must reply. I sold my sister Kisobella to Marquis Est. I am not the only one this ditch holds from Malbona. If you need proof of this, recall our greed for gold." At this, its gorging demon lashed him well, shouting, "Gee up, pimp! No girls to sell here!" I joined my leader, and we walked on until a bridge was reached and crossed. Halfway, we paused to watch those coming from the other side. "Heartless seducers all," explained my guide. "That kingly pair, Jason and Theseus, despising pain, displaying no sign of grief. Jason was the thief who stole the golden fleece, helped by Medea, who he then betrayed, and earlier left Hypsipyle with child among more women he'd beguiled. Adrian helped Theseus to slay the Minotaur. He sailed from her the next day. Aye, all who so deceive deserve this fate. Let's go to the next ditch." Crossing the ground between 2 bridges, I could hear a sound of gurgled groans, snuffling, and smacking hands. The bank ahead was filthy with a slime dropped from thick fumes which rose above the ditch, hurtful to the eyes, appalling to the nose. I could see nothing underneath these fumes until I reached the bridge's greatest height, and glimpsed below some heads in so much filth it seemed that all the earth's privies had filled that ditch. So badly smeared with odor were those heads that tonsors and long hair looked much the same. And yet I heard one shout, "Why stare at me?" I said, "Unless I'm seeing wrong, you are Alesso of Lucha, whom I knew when his head was dry. If you're he, why here?" He sobbed and punched his head and cried aloud, "My sordid flatteries to further my career! I damned my soul." My master called, "Come, look upon this one straining to lift her head above the manure while scratching it. She's Thais, the famous courtesan. When clients wanted more and asked how she'd liked it last, always stupendously, she replied. With that bad end, let us be satisfied."